Hi, everybody. My name is Megan Sinnott, and this is the Fireside Chat. These happen on the last Thursday of every month. So welcome to the end of February. What we typically do is we go around in a circle and introduce ourselves. So my name is Megan Sinnott. I do the community and marketing for Fireproof, and sitting to my right is
Chris Anderson, he, him, founder. I created the tech a couple years ago. Been working on this kind of stuff for a long time. Was one of the co-founders of Couchbase. So super excited to see all the new interest we're getting.
Great. And then Anna, do you mind taking it from here?
Sure thing. I handle all ops, and my kind of claim to fame is Chris and I were early employee. Well, he was a co-founder. I was an early employee with him at Couchbase. So Selem, kick it to you.
I'm Selem. I'm with engineering. I'm building the stuff that I enjoy most right now. So trying to get out the cloud and this app builder thing as soon as possible.
And
Zach,
Zach.
Sure. Yeah. Hi, I'm Zach Rose, formerly in engineering elsewhere, but I've recently joined Fireproof as a product manager. And I'm excited about that because I'm a fan of this sort of tech, and I'm also a very sort of consumer-oriented programmer. I'm not interested in foundational kernel work or anything like that. So I really like things made for me, and now I get a chance to sort of be in the middle of that somehow.
Awesome.
Marcus, you around?
I am currently scuttling around, so it's a little hard to do in a normal traditional. Here, I'll give you a little taste. Hey, everyone. I'm the business guy, preparing for a business trip. Good to see everyone.
And James?
Cool. JohnPaul, did you just join? Do you want to say hi?
Hi, I'm James Harrison, and I'm a software engineer. So I've worked on both the Web2 space and Web3 space, contributed to the Stacknet ecosystem, the Stellar ecosystem, and lots of more blockchain ecosystem too.
James, it's been great to see you in the Discord and fun to see what you've been building. We'll be asking you to demo later if you're willing.
All right, sure, no problem.
Yes, great. Cool. So looks like JohnPaul was in and maybe out for a minute. He might pop in again. And if his internet's stable enough, we'd love to hear from him. But in the meantime, typically we just do a few announcements and then we jump into the demos. Chris, do you have any announcements?
Okay. It's great to see the team growing. Thanks, Zach, for placing such a big bet on us. It's really cool to have your kind of perspective and momentum spicing things up here. So that's one of the, I guess that's an announcement. There's some like technical announcements. We merged Mino's big work into main, and now that's kind of like unblocked a flurry of little changes from me, and that means that there's been some stuff to backport to the 19 series, as well as like growing excitement in the 20 in the next release that's about to come. And so yeah, I guess like check your npm update. I could segue into the demo because the other thing that I really want to share is, and thanks Zach for putting this together, and if you are not like in screen share mode and you just want to go to the Fireproof storage homepage, then you'll see what I'm about to show. But this is not a dig on Supabase. Supabase is the best. This is not a dig on Lovable, which is where it came up. This is just us showing that we're there too. Like, we build these apps and we go in Lovable and we're like, hey, let's build a thing. And it's like, how about you want to do a migration? And instead we just paste this in and we don't have to do all that. And we have an app that runs right away. So that's the idea of what I want to build, or what I want to show you today. Not like in a lovable context, but I'll press the build now button. Part of what we're showing is that we run anywhere. So I'll just do number 2 here. Let's see what happens. And the idea is this is taking all the research we've done in prompt engineering. And while that's writing, so basically when you copy this, you get this llms.txt document that's linked here. That is all that any model needs to know to build one of these. And so it's, over here making our grocery store. It comes out different every time. I like this example. And what my research has been, it's about getting an app that works first time in one shot. And so this one looks like it's even got some error handling and maybe doesn't need, but that doesn't mean it won't run. So and welcome to the web. For reasons, we just refresh the page and this happens. And now we can add some things to our list. Oh, okay. We select an item and then we add it to the list. That's fine by me. That works. And I don't know. So I have another one that I started on right before the call where I wanted to make a fireproof bingo. And, as you hear me say CRDT or something, then you get to go in. I'll finish this up and we can have it maybe for the next call. So that's the demo, is that we have a focus on the on-ramp for building these code gen apps in one shot. And the place why it's cool, where it fits in, how it gets more interesting is we have, as soon as right now you have to do some open source work to run your own cloud connection or something, but we're about to turn on your ability to link these apps via our cloud. And then you basically have no worries about the context limitations. Those little tiny apps you can build can all be linked together into a solution for whole business or whatever. So that was my demo. I guess, Megan, what order should we do the other demos in?
I would love to hear from James.
Cool. Yeah, take it away, James.
All right, let me quickly share my screen. So you can see my screen, right? So cool. So initially, when I hopped in on this bounty, I wrote this code based on the research I made via the vibe coding ChatGPT format, and I was able to spin off this code. So here is the demo of how the code works. Sorry, excuse me. So let me quickly refresh my browser. So let me say, what should I add? Can anyone suggest any tags to add on this? Just random tags.
Create a demo.
It would be, oh yeah, there you go.
Create a demo. This is a brief description on creating a demo app. So due date should be tomorrow and at 2 p.m. Since the due date is tomorrow, it should be high priority, right? So if I go ahead to create the tags, it will bring out this coffee celebration splash. Hooray! The tags has been created. So I can go ahead to edit the tags by clicking on the card and edit demo applications. Maybe create a tags management system. And after I'm done updating, the updated version will reflect here. So if I click on this active tab, it will show that this tags is being active, right? And the completed tag there's no task assigned to this. So for me to complete a task, I'll have to click on this and it will show that, okay, yeah, this task has been completed. And it will be moved to the completed tab and removed from the active tab. I can as well delete this and voila, no task from our task board. The code is, I've submitted the form already, right? The code is available. I can as well share the link on this chat. You can, all right. Thank you, Anna. And as well share the link to this chat. You can as well check out the link and that's all for now.
Thanks, James. My question is, what tools did you use beyond ChatGPT to build that?
Okay, I used Cloudy and with a little touch of ChatGPT, and when I was able to come up with the schema of how things should work, I pasted it on. So let me share the prompt. That's the link to the video where I fine-tuned the UI. So I pasted it with a command that it should beautify this UI. Let me copy the prompt on the chat. So when I was done with the implementation of how things should work, I went to view, right? Imported the code, and I sent this prompt, and it was able to spin up an amazing UI, which you are seeing that I demoed.
That's cool. So you brought it in via Git on the way, or is there another way you got the original code into V0?
Okay, I used the documentation, right? I read the documentation, read the API, and in conjunction with both Cloudy and ChatGPT, I was able to couple up a lot of things and get it done.
Yeah, that's cool. Wow. Okay, so this makes me happy to see. Are you in a position to make code changes live? Are you set up for AI to do anything on your app right now? It's fine if you're not.
No, I'm not.
No worries. So like, if I may ask, how long did it take to make this? It's gorgeous.
Okay, it took a day of thorough working based on the time frame. I had to dedicate a day to finish it up and get it all done.
It's really impressive. And what would have made it easier for you? What would have made it on our side? Like what could we have done to make it simpler?
Maybe the documentation, right? Yes, because I realized that there was just one step in the documentation. It really didn't explain some of the maybe functions, right? Embedded functions and embedded properties that will be used to call some data, maybe from the backend, how to delete, how to just keep trying and testing out how to delete, especially the delete. If you noticed, when you want to remove maybe a tag from the database, the delete keyword, I had to start checking, inspecting the files. So there was no proper documentation about it. If you guys can improve the documentation, sure. Anyone can hop in on the Fireproof docs and spin off some certain things without even relying on AI to do just that.
That's great to hear.
Thank you so much for saying that, James.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, we're so grateful that you found us, and it was really fun to see your app pop in yesterday. So thank you for sharing that, and we'll be in touch.
All right, sure, no problem.
James, you're welcome to hang out for the rest of the call. We have a few more demos that are going to happen, but if you need to drop, also, we understand. But we love having you here. So then, anybody else have questions for James? I think we're good. JohnPaul, I saw that you dropped in again. If you're able to say hi, please do.
Hi.
Welcome
Hi,
back.
JohnPaul.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to use Fireproof again. I won't be able to share my video due to my network gets bad at this time, this part of the country.
No worries. We're glad to have you here, and we can chat on Discord. You and I. It's happy to see the new inventory keeper that you've been working on. I think Chris might actually even be. Can you pull it up and share it?
Yeah, let's just make it easy for everyone to see. So this is what it looks like. I just put some stuff in here. We can add something else. Let's see. If we go here, we could say we want some, I guess I'm not very good at shopping. So I'm going to say we want some beans. That sounds healthy.
Yeah.
And, there we go. And it's over here. So it's great to see this kind of format and the full feature capabilities all, being put into one place. So, wow, thanks for making something so complete. This is really inspiring. And
Sync works, Chris?
Yeah, talking about inspiration, this was something that I've been thinking about because as a very, very good use case of Fireproof, in terms of offline applications. For example, when you're recording inventory, you don't want to have internet issues. You want it to happen as fast as possible, and then you want to be able to sync it to the online database so everyone else could see what's happening in the shop. So I think it's a very good use case of Fireproof for offline first apps that also work online.
that's great. That's amazing. Yeah, I've only just had a chance to glance at it, but how was your experience getting the sync to work?
Yeah, so I used the Connect. So I had issues with Connect, other issues. So I was thinking of like an interface where you could just have a get and a set functionality for Connect, so you could plug it into different data sources. But the interface today looks very complicated. I tried out the S3 format, but I wasn't really getting it to work. So I ended up using the public Fireproof Cloud, which would work seamlessly. So I think the S3 is not so clear. The examples on the documentation, sometimes you have to go to GitHub to look at test and look at what was implemented there. So I think Connect could be made easier to work with any data source.
Yeah, thanks for that feedback. And it's not surprising. We have two things going on. One is that in the main branch is a whole new way of implementing all those gateways that comes closer to what you described with the put and get thing. And so that just landed like this week. And we didn't quite want to document that whole area until we got that sorted. We're still finishing up the sorting on it, but it may be that, depending on how intrepid you are, it's ready for another look, or as soon as the docs land, it's time to see about making stuff like S3 super easy to activate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That would be nice. Can't wait.
JohnPaul, we're so impressed that you came back for a second stab at making an app with Fireproof. It's really exciting to see one app and then the next. So we're happy to have you here. And same if you'd like to hang out for a little while longer and hear the next demos, we'd be happy to have you here this month, next month, and the following. So welcome to the Fireproof community. Next up, I'm wondering if we can have Zach.
I would love to, yeah. I would love to not follow Selem on this one. So I'm going to tell the story a little bit about how I got involved in Fireproof and what I've been up to throughout that time. So I heard about Fireproof through some friends. Actually, it's a long story, but I heard lots of like tech jargons being spat out about CRDTs and like collaborative type like live update kind of stuff. And I sort of know what that means. Like I have been paying attention to some projects in the Web3 space, like IPFS and Beaker browser. And at one point, I did enough like YouTube watching to understand how the fundamental pieces work, and it all seemed very cool. But it's been a while since I've been into that world. But um, it was suggested that I like check out Fireproof, and I just kind of stumbled through their React tutorial, and I've had this thing that I'd wanted to make for a while, and it seemed like the perfect kind of way to. Can you all see this? Am I sharing my screen? No, I'm not.
Yeah, we see it. Looks
Oh,
great.
you are. You are. Okay, yeah. So I'd had this idea, and I wanted to make this thing for a while, and it might have just gone away. But it's a little sliding tile game that was like part of Mac back in, well, first in the 80s or 90s, and then again in maybe 2005 or so. It's not working right now, but that's fine. So, and it was like exciting to see. Sorry?
Are you talking about Mac dashboard widgets? I missed those.
Yeah, exactly. Like first somewhere else and then in Tiger in about 2005. And the reason this is fun for me to have like as a persistent thing is like, you know, a puzzle that you can refer back to, close all your browser windows, reopen it, make more progress, maybe put it down. And also kind of like reflect back to this personal computer era where things weren't as networked as we expect them to be now. And then I'll abbreviate, long story short, I wound up joining Fireproof and found out that what they're all up to here is this vibe coding thing. And I had never, like, I'd used ChatGPT like a couple of years ago and like honestly not very interested. So I thought, okay, fine, I'll give it a shot. And I'd been wanting to make this paint, like just a simple paint application for the web, and I tried this thing called Lovable, and like, yeah, create a very simple painting app, take up the entire page, one brush, always red, and getting ahead of myself. This is what it gave me, and I was like, hey, that's not bad. That's kind of fun. And like you refresh, it's gone, of course, because they don't worry about that stuff typically. And I was like, well, all right, what else can we do? Can we, change all the parameters so that it makes like a nicer orange and a different background and stuff like that? And yeah, I can do that. And can we keep some state in this app? So, and I also wanted to like, I like that when you make a drawing, like it's not just the drawing you make, it's also kind of like the little video or the little animation about how it gets there. So I asked for this feature where you can record and make a scribble and then stop recording. And then it says refresh page to play. So if you refresh, yeah, it can do that. And then I was like, okay, can you do that with, I think it was using local storage or something. And it's like, fine. Can you do that with Fireproof? And we've had, ways to tell it exactly how to do that. That's with the llms.txt thing. And it's like, yeah, that's working. Here's our Fireproof data. So like that was just tremendously exciting to me. And one of the things I'm supposed to do here at Fireproof is make a website that explains what Fireproof is. And I've been kind of working on that a little bit. I'm a little bit behind, but basically, there's so many things about Fireproof that are their own opposites. Like it's local, but it's not only local, and it's bring your own infrastructure, but we're making infrastructure too. And it's sort of like, it's hard to say one thing without adding a bunch of caveats. So I'm trying to, in this project, I guess, is simplify some of that down. So I'm making this page that says you've made your app, and then we show you your app here, and we ask you what happens when you refresh the page. And sure enough, it is all gone. And like, maybe we can do some competitive stuff about how local storage doesn't have good security performance, and like IndexedDB is kind of hard to use, and all these other things require setting up infrastructure or subscribing to a service. And with our 3 lines of code that we can put into your app here, or ChatGPT can put into your app, we can make something that will stick around when we have the part is coming, but make something that will store your data and on S3 or our cloud or your cloud, whatever you want to do. And then the big reveal here would be that you can have 2 of these browser windows, like one on each side. And this can be a collaborative painting. So when you make one stroke here, it replicates to S3 and then back down to the other client, and they see the same stroke, and then back and forth. And this gives us a little chance to talk about how these things came to be in one project, and why they're related, and why they work so well together, or what kind of things you can get from that. So this website is obviously still a ways away, but I want to show anybody who's interested in like how we're thinking about telling the story, and how we're just trying to kind of dumb it down, but also like just assume that you don't necessarily know about all these pieces and all these existing technologies. So thanks.
Woo! Thanks for sharing, Zach. Looking good.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
I want to see if does anybody have any questions for Zach?
Yeah, or about this or anything really. Try me.
And then I guess this can be our chance
Okay.
to like publicly, loudly give you a big round of applause and welcome you officially to the team.
It's
Thanks,
so exciting
Zach.
to be here. Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right. Well, we can always have questions at the end, but next up we have Selem.
Okay, I have to share my screen and pray the demo gods. Okay, so this app is a web app, which was my frustration with the app builder, other app builders that were not tailored for us. So on a weekend, I plumbed this together to make sure that to see what was missing from them, and discovered some stuff along the way. So basically, this is the same app builder functionality from what you get from the like ChatGPT and Cloud UIs, as well as Lovable and V0 devs. You have your usual chat interface to talk to the LLMs, and it just generates code. But this one is tailored for Fireproof, which means that it has its specific prompt, so you don't have to teach the LLM how to use it. So it's predefined, cached, and it injects the packages for Fireproof. So you don't get they got better actually from what I see. So the ChatGPT one is working by default now. I think Claude is still having some trouble sometimes, like doesn't want to install the package, or so by default this injects the package configuration for Fireproof and extracts whatever it generates from the code for the additional packages and just injects them. So for a little quick demo how it works. Oh, actually I want to show something else first. Why do we need Fireproof for this kind of stuff? So I will present this with a presentation tool created by this app. So the initial input was for the prompt is create a simple presentation tool. I want to be able to see drag drop slides for reordering, and it generated this UI with the Fireproof on the backend. As you can see, it starts using with the Fireproof call, and it outputs a single React component for the whole app. And my thesis is that Fireproof is a great fit for these kinds of apps. So what are these apps? The class of apps that are just mostly CRUD and out, like, I don't know, 80% of the web and distributed by a browser, right? So all you need is from Fireproof to get these primitives. So these are not syntactically correct, but it's almost close. So for CRUD, we have this side. See, this is already in, so we are using happily right now. Basic, your create, read, update, delete operations. We had cloud, and we have some sort of version of it, and we are resurrecting a proper one right now. So basically, you will be able to persist the cloud, whatever you wanna persist. This one, I think we need to have at some point, like, we are embedding this into the UI, but it will be awesome to have this kind of call.
I think what's happening,
Yeah.
it's on the nature of things, is like you showed earlier, share is just part of use-fireproof.
Yeah. So this is coming too. And yeah, this is a reminder for myself to go back to the cloud to work on to get it out. So to demonstrate the app a little bit more, I will do some live coding. So I wired off this to the Fireproof as well. So now, oh wait. Here again. So now this is, wired up to the Fireproof itself as well. So it's working within Fireproof, and it all stores your chat history. So let's see. This is my previous conversations with the app. Create a simple drawing app with a canvas where users can draw with different colors and save their drawings. So it basically gets the code from LLM, passes to the sandbox, and just generates the app. Save. Okay. Clear. Load. So all the CRUD functionality is there. We just need to, the cloud one, so you can start sharing. What else?
What we're seeing here is the future, because what the next big step is that we can tell these apps the rough shape of the schema they're operating on. And as soon as we do that, you can almost just paint them on demand. You can make the new app pretty safely if you keep your schema simple. And so everyone can have their own app and interact on interactive data. That's that's where we end up in the longer run.
Yeah, exactly. So it will be malleable, like you can shape it to your tailors as soon as you share it. It can be a multiplayer thing, like lots of things to do here. So yeah, this is basically a timer app. Like you can add as much as you want.
Ooh, I already want to add just a freeform note that is only active during when that timer is live.
Yeah. Let's see. This one I stole from one of your demos, Chris, like a flashcard app to learn Spanish. And it says include some basic words by default. Let's see what it generates.
So you saw that thing I posted to YouTube in the channel where you can go, these ChatGPT contexts can have more than one app, right? So you say, hey, make another app that's basically
that was great.
A button that adds a dozen cards.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can really add new cards that way.
Yeah. That flashcard that teaches you Spanish, a primitive version of it. Oh, this one, a clone of the classical Microsoft Paint app. Try dragging the window around to move the application.
So I'll give the business guy perspective on this while we look at the last few of these. What? Okay, that's the first part. the second part is that what our strategy, we see it as we want to be this way. We want to play this role in every single code gen tool. We're not like trying to be better than Lovable or better than Cloud Artifacts or better than V0. We're just like, maybe this is a demo of how easy it would be for V0 to enhance themselves to do this. If we could do it this easily, then all of them can adopt these practices. So that's the first thing it's meant to do. And the second thing it's meant to do is that, like, as great as those tools are, they'll never be built just for Fireproof. So we may always be able to show the slickest, simplest way to build these composable apps using this tool and integrate with information we get back from the database. So we'll see how that goes. But right now we're, I think, mostly doing it because it's fun and we can't help it.
Yes. So this is I got it somewhere from one of the generator tools. So it basically creates a quiz app. And the last one is this time zone dashboard that shows the time zone in top 6 most popular time zones.
And we're on Claude 2.7 right now, but it's super easy to switch to DeepSeek or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you?
But from my testing, it's Cloud is by far is the best among them. Like, especially 3.7 is way much better than ChatGPT and other stuff.
I almost think, for the sake of telling the audience that they're in a place they could stay, we should have a model picker.
Yeah. So yeah, Fireproof is great for this class of apps. And with these primitives, like, you can have any kind of app you want in one shot.
That's
one
what
shot prompts. I was gonna do a live one, and maybe I can try and we can talk about it while it's generating its thing. So I'm gonna pick your prompt, Chris, in the demo, the last one.
Cool.
So yeah, what is missing from the user experience, that it says it's thinking, but it's not showing any sign of thinking, like the streaming part, which kinda, I don't know, a gimmicky but a nice gimmick that it gives the feeling that it's doing something. So this one does is like request response instead of the stream, and then it just outputs the app code and then starts building it. Wonder what it's gonna build. Okay, cool. Oh, and it is Fireproof.
And in this context, can we do like an MCP style server that can talk to the same databases?
Yep. We can.
That would just put your quotes right in then.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So let me try your. So yeah, the ChatGPT's experience is much better, that it can generate 2 apps at a time, and you can somehow make them talk to each other through the prompt. This one needs, like, to add the additional codes, it needs an additional history.
But yeah, for being a couple weeks old piece of software, this is amazing. And adding things like more than one buffer, I mean, we can add that if we decide we need it.
Yeah, the idea is that these things are not hard to build, and the good part is Fireproof lets you do that. Like,
There you go.
yeah.
That's cool. Anybody have questions? Does anybody Want to throw out a app we should build real quick?
I might try and ask one of these tools to make a documentation site based on to look into the API and write us docs. Or we could use our own doc generator and edit them and do it nice. But I'd be curious to see if this thing can do it.
It should have all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all for my side.
That's great. Anything else, Megan? I think you have some cool stuff.
I just kind of want to wrap up, but maybe in my own summary, I would just like to say how truly exciting it is to see the powerful simplicity of Fireproof finally hitting that point of crossover with these app generators, such that by simply copying pasting the llms.txt, that I myself can plop into ChatGPT and Lovable just a little bit of text about what Fireproof is, and that I can get an app going in one shot, and that it's so truly magical that I'm still trying to wrap my own brain around it, and I'm excited to be here. I also want to say that the Fireproof chats, these events, they're open to anyone. And so James, JohnPaul, you're welcome to come back at any time, as is our Discord. So if you have friends who are interested in using something like Fireproof, that they're absolutely welcome to join our community and ask questions and hammer out some apps. And for any of you who may be nearby or have friends in San Francisco or the Bay Area at large, Fireproof is going to be down there on March 17th for Sync SF. It's going to be a meetup basically showing how easy it is to build apps with local first software, and we're going to blow everybody out of the water. We're taking 15 minutes to talk and make an app, drop mic, and walk out. So hope you can join us.
And that's put together by our friends at Electric Sequel, which is super cool to see them come into the West Coast.
Yeah. So does anybody else have anything to share? Great. Really lovely to see you all. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you in a month.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks.